Hi, this is Greg with Cause and Effect Golf. This segment is going to be about ball position at address. If you've looked at any of my tapes, you've noticed how much I'm very systematic as to there's the pre-swing fundamentals and then the swing. Okay, so this is a pre-swing setup, a fundamental, however you want to refer to that. So we're going to have I have three clubs here. I have a 7-iron, I have a wood, and I have a sand wedge. You can see right there, look at the length. There's my 3 wood, there's my 7-iron, and there's my gap wedge. So you can see that's got to have something to do with what my stance will be. Let's start with the 7-iron, okay? This is basically, and everything with golf, you know, there's always can be a variation or whatever. But let's take this 7-iron here. We're going to have a middle stance. This will apply to basically a 9-iron all the way through the 6-iron, possibly the 5-iron. You can play a little with ball position, but let's talk about the width of the stance to begin with, okay? The width of your stance is going to be shoulder width, meaning the heel is directly underneath your shoulder. So I got this stance here. I think I got it pretty close to my shoulder width. I'm going to take this here. I'm going to put my feet in there and feel my heels are on the line right there. So I'm directly right over that. Okay, so that's the stance I want to have. I want to have that kind of stance, and then my ball position will be right there in the middle of the stance. Okay, now this I'm not going to talk about hand position, but just understanding or exactly how your hands are going to be held and all that kind of stuff with the swing. But you want to have your arms are hanging down, right? So the arms are hanging down, ball's going to be there in the middle of your stance, okay? That's what we're working on. Now, from a standpoint, I do have certainly a tendency, I would like to have it closer to the front as opposed to moving back. You don't want to move the ball too much back in there because you get steep with it and a number of things. So we got that ball right there, middle of the stance, there I am right there, okay? Now when you do that, when you have that stance, you'll notice how if you've had a wider stance and I do this to you, you would feel very constricted. When you take that club back, you feel like I can't move anything. Well, that probably is a good thing, because a lot of times people take that club back and they get there and they get overextended, and when they get overextended, the club goes rotating and oscillating for you. You get over-rotated, and there's a number of things that come in there. So what happens when you do this, when you get yourself in the box, what they say, it allows you to make your turn inside within your swing, your backswing. You're making a good turn back within here, and you're not breaking that. You'll be surprised, and this is a difficult thing whenever you narrow your stance or whenever you go to a real traditional type stance, you'll find that you'll get up to it and you feel like, I don't have any room to hit the golf ball. There's no way I can hit it. And that's what we want to do. We want to get you to that point where you're back in here and then you let it go. Because if you get yourself wide, you take back here, you start winding up too far. And when you wind up so far back, you can't get it back to the ball in time. Now the better players, they've been playing the golf for a long time. They learn when they're young, and there's no question they know how to get the club back. They get back here and load up, but they're also creating a tremendous force to hit the ball, down force and one up through. But if you're kind of an amateur, middle amateur to even a beginner or something, you don't have this drive as well. And so what happens when you get too long, then you'll throw your hands. And when you start throwing your hands, then it gets all out of control. So we want to take a narrower stance probably than normal, but certainly we want to go shoulder width, and this is where we're going to be at right here, okay? So we're shoulder width, we're getting ready to hit the golf ball like that. You see how I get back here like that? Well, let's take that and see what happens when I put the wood in my hand there, okay? So if I put the wood in there, I would feel a little tight, okay? That would be a little narrow for me, because it's a longer club, so I have to have a little more of a weight transfer, get the club back, a further backswing. So I will have my feet on the outside of those sticks, or so to speak, on the outside of my shoulders, something like this. Versus there, I'm going to be out to here, right? So I get into this out, I get in that position here. You can see how I'm much a little wider there. I'm more loaded up in that sense. Now, we're not going to talk about weight distribution, all the stuff that goes in, but you get yourself into this position. You can see how it allows me to then go from there and I get back into this position. But more importantly, that ball's got to be in this position here, and our stance is wider. So this will be a wider stance. The ball will be positioned up into there. Notice too where I've got that ball, that my hand's positioned. I'm not way out here like this. I almost got them right there with that line of the stick there, right? Get that there. I still got this position here. I'm in that position there to hit this shot. I got a pretty good wide stance so that when I take it back, I get loaded up into here and I can go. Okay? So what do I do then when I take that, when I put that gap in there, the gap wedge? Okay, well, obviously it's going to be much smaller than the wood, much smaller than the middle iron, so I get up into here, and I will be something of this sort. Now, I could take this, for instance, let's say I got to hit a full lob sand wedge up over a tree or something like that. Well, I may take that normal stance, the normal width of a shoulder width, and go like that. That could be a full swing 7-iron there, but what I want to do with this club here, this is a scoring club. Don't try to overswing it. So what you want to do is you want to be a little on the inside of that. Feel like you're narrowed up in there, because when you take that club back, you're not going to take it way back here. You'll lose control when you get back here. So take it right back to here. When you get back here, and then you can get on through. So you get to here and go through there. So you have different distances, different widths of your stance for the different golf clubs you're hitting. So you have basically three widths I gave you. You got your narrow, which is your short club. You got your medium, which is for your middle irons, and then you got the longer, the width, the wider of the three for your longer 3-wood driver, etc. So again, if you work with the pre-swing fundamentals, it doesn't guarantee, but it certainly gives you a better chance of making consistent, solid contact. Okay? Thanks and we'll see you on the course.